This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where tonight my friends and I will be playing the Cthulhu Dark Ages role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is called The Burrowing Verses. It was written by Machen, who is also our game master, and this is episode 1. Our recap. Before we begin, I do want to mention that we get most of our funding through our Patreon site. Your generous support helps us to pay for our website, our club space, and everything that goes into our video production. It's your support that keeps us going, and we deeply appreciate it. There is a QR code over there. You can click on that, or you can click on the link in the description. So without any further delays, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Mike?
Thank you so much, Thom. Yeah, let's do this. Last night, a wounded and feverish man stumbled into the village of Laurenburg, a place you currently call home. Locals recognized the man as Tuomas, a merchant who had recently left the village with his companion Stania to take goods to the isolated Brockness monastery roughly 2 days away. The man was exhausted and brutally injured. He babbled incoherently before being taken into care by the village healer. The Thane and village elders soon decided to send a small group up to the abbey to ensure that the inhabitants are okay, to find Stania, and if possible, return with the sundry goods the monastery provides. The group was provided with a cart and horses to follow the path up through the forest into the hills. Now, late in the afternoon, on their first day of travel, the group traveled along a rough path through the snow and underbrush encroaching from either side. The forest is much quieter now than it will be later in the spring and summer, but for now you hear the sounds of water trickling from melting snow, as well as the horses and cart wheels. Somewhere just ahead, you expect to find the small stone bothy, where you'll take shelter overnight before resuming your journey to the monastery tomorrow. Please introduce your characters and tell us why they joined this small expedition into the forest. Why don't we start with Bert the Minstrel?
Okay. So my name is Bertrand, or Bert for short. Bert is the Thane's minstrel and entertainer. He is particularly skilled in playing the lyre. He can recite poetry, he can perform acrobatics, he can do play acting and pantomime and all sorts of things. He's very dexterous, very lithe, um, and a little bit arrogant. He considers himself to be the most favored employee of the Thane. He's not a fighter. He's not skilled. He's not wearing armor. He's not, he doesn't carry a sword or any weapon other than just a sling with stones, and that's just break in case of emergency. So he's a lover, not a fighter, apparently. And and he is on this mission. I assume that the Thane sent his minstrel, and he's here to provide inspiration when needed by playing his lyre and playing and providing entertainment.
Nice. How do you think Bert feels about being on the mission himself then?
Um, Bert is excited, probably being on the mission a little bit. It's kind of fun to maybe get out. He's This is a way to curry favor from the Thane, to make sure when the Thane asks him to do something, he's not going to say no. And he's hoping, and obviously, as somebody who writes songs, he's hoping that he can write a song about this, about the glories of what happened. So he's excited. He's a little bit nervous, though, however, because they're going into a place where there was a wounded merchant and another merchant that is missing. So there is an element of danger here. But he's looking around and he sees some strong men he thinks that'll be able to protect him, or at least
And
that's
so
what he's
he's
thinking
sitting
about.
in the back of the cart. Who do you think his eyes focus on when he thinks of someone who might be able to protect him?
Probably Medforth, the man that's,
Oh,
I believe we said was driving the cart, a big,
well,
strong town guard.
yeah.
Then you look over at Asmoth, the sellsword, also. So anybody that's got a weapon, that's got a sword.
Nice. Well, why
Yeah.
don't we zoom in closer on Medfirth first then? Tom, tell us a little bit about your character.
Right. I am Medforth. I am the town guard, and I take my job very seriously. And I'm on this mission because people need guarding.
Wonderful.
Um,
Um,
trips are
have
always
you any
dangerous.
have you any thoughts about Asmuth's inclusion? Whereas you are a local of Laurenburg, Asmuth is a traveling sellsword who has come into the Thane's employ. Do you think you've worked with her before, or has she left an impression on you?
I try not to pay any attention to that sort of thing, if that's what you're talking about. Any sword is welcome in a fight.
Well, in that case, let's move over to Asmuth. While Medforth is driving the small cart being pulled by horses, Asmuth is ranging ahead a bit. Tell us about Asmuth.
Azimuth is a uh, the child of some of the last of the Norse colonists in England and the UK. That once what once was the Danelaw and has since been sundered by English kings and pretenders. And uh, over time, having lost her family to various wars and conflicts and the never-ending chaos of that era. She's converted to Christianity, but having learned from an early age to fend for herself, has basically relied on those skills her entire life, and at this point is moving from place to place, finding work for someone who can uh, uh, competently make their way across a battlefield or track down uh, brigands or thieves and whatnot. And she's got her large battle axe slung across her back, a sword at her side, and some leather armor to hopefully keep her safe. Although that said, this is a bit of a concerning little expedition. Um, it's been a long time since monasteries have been raided in any real appreciable sense, but if it's happening again, whether it's some kind of other invaders into the lands or brigands or bandits, uh, she's a bit concerned that it's only going to be her and Medfirth and maybe Leober uh, um, as a group that can really fight back or deal with a situation if it should come to that. So she's just riding ahead and just stewing in those thoughts. Not exactly too excited to meet her death and the creator.
Is there any weapon that you carry or any tool that you carry that might have been made by the blacksmithy in town?
He's probably done some work on the axe. After
Yeah.
all, keeping the haft nice and strong is very important. So, um, uh, helping swap that out, it's probably been uh, the work that he's done with it recently. The sword
Nice.
mostly doesn't see too much work. It's really just more of a backup weapon.
Nice. Well, why don't we turn to Leober then? Leober, are you riding alongside or are you in the back of the cart?
I'm just riding alongside, trudging through the mud. piece of stale bread kind of hanging out of my mouth. There always seems to be food. If it's near me, then I have it.
So what brings you on this expedition?
Well, I lost my parents very early on, and I was lucky enough to be taken in at the monastery, and the monks took care of me, and they taught me how to read and write, and I learned a lot from them. But I knew there was other things in life, and I wanted to get training, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the blacksmith's daughter, I assure you. But I know that the monks are men of peace, and with these troubling rumors, I'm fearful for their health.
Wonderful. And let's turn from there to the last member of our expedition, Elwyn. Andrew, tell us a bit about Elwyn.
Hello. My name is Elwyn. You don't know me that well, actually. I've only been around for a few days. I'm female, a widow, still wearing a wedding ring, and physically, really very average. Brown hair, not too heavy, not very physical. But I'm a scholar, and I've been staying the winter in a monastery, a larger monastery further south from here, because that honestly I'd have got a bit bored in the village if I was just there snowbound for so many weeks with cabin fever and so on. But also it's easier for me to pay my way in a monastery because I can work in the scriptorium, I can do translation or transcriptions, and even a little bit of illumination. So I like drawing pictures of rabbits and running around wielding swords and so on in the margins, and for some reason the monks are very happy for me to do that in their documents. I was one has to accept destiny, but there was a little bit of cursing destiny when I arrived, and I'd found that I just missed the trip to the monastery that we're heading to now. But I'm now thanking God that I wasn't on that early trip, because I might well no longer be around. So we can't really change destiny. We have to accept what it is, and in gratitude to God that we're still alive today. Anyway, I talk quite a lot, as Bert will be finding as we're sitting in the cart next to one another, but maybe that's enough for now.
What other member of the expedition has you the most curious, or who do you is it Asmuth, the woman who carries her own weapons and confidently ranges ahead, or is it Bertrand, the musician and composer, or the mysterious Medfirth driving the carriage, or perhaps Leober?
I think I'm interested in to get to know Asmuth better as another woman, to find out, to learn more about the story of her life and the independence that she has found there. I mean, I will always love the memory of my husband. I will never marry again. But since his demise 2 years ago, I've discovered an independence, and that is it's no consolation, but nevertheless, that's how I choose to live today. You're mute. You're muted.
I sure am. Sorry, I'm clicking it. It's nothing happening. Nothing happening. There we go. Okay. In that case, yeah, let's scan out to the whole group as Azimuth maybe drops back a bit. Azimuth, you've seen the bothy is not far ahead, maybe about 5 minutes ride away yet. And you're passing that information along to Medforth and the others. And I'll let you guys carry the scene from here.
Not long now. A few minutes ahead with the ride.
It'll be good to
is
get
that
warm.
it? That stone thing?
Seems to be. And this monastery, there's no smoke or anything like that, so whatever's happened, it hasn't been burned.
Well, I want to sleep in a place where I have shelter over my head. I don't like to get wet when it's raining. I don't like to get muddy either.
Well,
What
perhaps
time
you're
of
in luck.
day
Need
is
to
it?
keep you.
The time of day is late afternoon, as that you expect within the next couple hours. The sun is maybe just beginning its tilt downward in the sky.
We need to get there before sundown, or they'll close the gates and they won't open them at night.
You don't expect to make it to the monastery this day. It's more likely that'll be tomorrow. So
2 days,
yeah, it's
yeah.
the cabin though is just ahead, and that should provide you with that roof over your head for the time being.
And it's
Sorry.
raining. I'll pick up the
cabin.
pace a little bit on the horses.
Hopefully the cabin has a good fireplace. It's
Okay.
quite cold out here. I'm not used to being out in the cold in the outdoors this long at a time.
Well, as soon as we get there, we'll set you to finding enough firewood to start a fire.
Well, I think that would be somebody else's job to do, but I can provide the entertainment.
Well, if it is bandits, if they've been ranging this far, well, I mean, after several days, they would have come upon this place already. I think that's a good sign. Perhaps whoever attacked the monastery has already moved on. Isn't using it as a base of operations or anything of the sort.
Okay,
You'll be ready for everything.
yeah, you can see that the kind of track or no, it's not quite a road, but it's been a occasionally traveled track over the years. It's widened out. And you can see it widens here into a bit of a clearing. Ahead of you, you can see the stone bothy. It's barely more than 4 walls put together, but beside it, there is a wooden barn where you can leave the horses and cart. You can see there's a little area off to the side of it where there is a fire pit, and you can see stacked against the wall of the bothy itself there is some firewood set up there. The trees kind of ring it, and then you can see on the other side of it the road kind of goes further on into the end. Slowly, some point after that, slowly starts gaining elevation as it gets deeper into the forest.
Let's looks like we're here. I will pull the cart over in front. Everybody can get out, and then I'll put him I'll park it into the barn.
Into the barn. Okay, yeah. Right now the barn doors are closed. So is anyone going to jump out and help open the barn?
Leo
Not
will.
Bertrand. Leo Brewer. Okay, yeah. So maybe you jump ahead and run, and you're opening the barn door. It's not very large. It's just barely big enough for the horses and the cart to get inside and have their own stalls. You can see that it looks in okay shape. Glancing around, it's there's no light in here other than what trickles in through the door, and you can see there's a little bit of hay spread about. It is possible that maybe the other two were here, but there's you have suspected maybe you'd find their cart in here, but there's nothing. It's empty. As the two of you are doing that, Bert, are you still sitting up in the cart as he's getting it parked, or have you hopped out?
No, I'm still seated in the cart.
You're still seated in the cart. How about
I'm
Elwyn and
hopping-
Azimuth? Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm hopping out. Want to stretch my legs after this, and I'd like to help get that fire started. Can we find any dry kindling
Yeah.
or straw that is already in the barn. Really want that, and then try to find some wood that isn't sodden
Yeah.
to build up a fire with.
And as you jump off the cart, you kind of have this brief moment where you remember something. What do you reach back into the cart to grab that you've brought with you?
Well, I'm looking for my flint, really, or
Nice.
sort of napstone in there, which will be in my day bag or whatever it is.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Tote
you are able
bag.
to you find it and jump out and head around the house towards the area where you saw the fire pit. How about Asmuth?
Hop off the horse and leading the reins. Make my way towards the door of the building and wrap the haft of my axe against the door.
Yeah.
To see if there's anybody's in here.
It is like the barn. It's dark inside, and you feel the door move under, and you realize the door hasn't been secured. Yeah, the door is kind of just part opens inwards and is just a little bit ajar as you step up to it. Knocking it, you hear nothing within the room. Just about 20 feet away from you, Asmuth Elowin has passed you, stepping a little bit further down. You can see where you are, Elowin. You're kind of now on the opposite side of the bothy from where the barn is, where the other three are setting up the horses. And you can see that there are several logs stacked up against the bothy. Some of them have been set out. It looks like a few of them have a light covering of frost or snow on them. Some of them look to have been chopped fairly recently and put off to the side. One thing you do notice is that there is a rather wide log, it's kind of set up where someone has a bigger log where they've been chopping smaller pieces on. And you can see on one of the side logs, you can see there is a hatchet sticking out of the log.
Oh, well, that's useful. Looking any sign of presence there?
Yeah.
Odd that someone would leave a hatchet behind.
Yeah. Roll a spot hidden.
$16
Wow.
over 45. So
Okay. That's definitely a hard success. You have a moment maybe perhaps where you feel as though like you're in this wider space, and when you look at the trees, and if you shift, you see rows of trees almost like extending pillars go through, and if anything, realize like how easily here it would be for somebody to be watching you. But no, you don't see anyone immediately.
All right. I'll is there any wood? I feel slightly nervous, I think. Is there any wood that I can take? Given kindling
Yeah.
larger pieces of wood, or do I need to do some chopping in order to get what I need?
You could probably grab some smaller pieces of kindling. From what you'd expect of previous experiences of your travels, a bothy like this has a fire pit outside, but it also would have a hearth on the inside. Not so much a dedicated fireplace or something like that, but definitely a hearth and some possibility for smoke to escape built into the roof, etc.
There a wood pile.
Yeah, there is a wood
It's
pile. Yes,
sheltered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will take the hatchet.
Yeah.
It's curious. I mean, that's a valuable thing.
Yeah.
And go back and let's see if I can start a fire. May also want to hang up some clothes to dry them off from the rain.
Yeah. As you pull the hatchet, you realize that it's been sunk pretty good into that. It's not a very it too has that thin layer of snow covering it. And as you pull it out, it takes a little bit of force and energy to lift it. And the piece of it that lifts from the wood, you can see seems to be a little bit stained with rust and discolored at first. And you're just kind of looking at that, trying to put into perspective and starting to realize that maybe that isn't necessarily just rust on it. As we flash back to Asmuth, as you begin slowly like knocking your axe against the door and it tilts in, you hear something from inside the bothy, from inside the stone. Elo and the scholars disappeared somewhere off to your right, and you kind of have this spatial awareness. The other three, you're not sure if the performer's still sitting in the back of the cart or has gotten out by now, but it sounds, you can hear a little bit of movement as they're setting up the horses and the carriage in the barn. But you hear something come from ahead of you inside the stone, and it's a low growling sound. And a little bit of scratching and clawing sounds.
Okay. Well, does it sound like it's maybe a wolf or something along those lines? I mean, I guess I could make a natural world roll.
Give me a natural world or a listen. Combine either or.
8 out of 40 natural, so that's a hard.
Yeah. You're at a loss to guessing exactly what type of animal, but it's definitely some kind of wild animal inside.
Okay. I'm just gonna push the door open wider. And then kind of like look around for anybody who might be out in the area and say, everybody stand clear. There's a creature of some kind in here. And I'm just gonna try to keep the door wide open, kind of held open with my axe, kind of creating a path past me, and just kind of looking through the light that's shining in there to see if I can see what.
And it's basically a one-room hut almost, and you can see the hearth in the center and several cots kind of spread out along the walls. We'll flash to the barn where Bert, Medfirth, and Leober are finishing up. You've secured the cart. The horses are in stalls.
Bert, get out of the second cart.
Okay. I'm going to say, you should not speak to me that way. I am the favored one of the Thane, but I'll let this one go. And then he gets out of the car.
Like it's the medieval version of Alien, and you're like the corporate in the group.
We give the court jester a lot of leeway to say what he wants. With the stuff going on with the animal, I'm going to at least position myself between the horses and anything that's going to come out that door.
Oh yeah, good. I like that. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, you're hearing azimuth, and as both fighting people, you clearly know that to accomplish what you've set out to do, you definitely have to protect the horses and cart. How about Leober and Bert?
So I'm alarmed that there's something going on, and so I'm staying actually close to Medfirth.
Okay.
I'll step forward in front of the two with my smithy hammer at the ready.
Nice. Okay. Elwyn, you've probably heard a little bit of the commotion by now, too.
I'm going to head back as fast as I can, taking care not to slip on any ice or melting snow.
You can see there is a little bit of evidence of thaw and then refreeze and thaw and refreeze. So there's a few places that are maybe a little bit slick, and you join azimuth at the door of the cabin. Leober, I'm going to have you roll a spot hidden as you've been moving about the barn.
$43, just barely a success.
Nice. Okay. As you're coming around from the other side of having helped get the cart inside and everything, you're going to join Medfirth and Bert, who are standing together, kind of blocking off the barn from the front door of the cabin. And you almost kind of pull up, and you can see in the kind of underfoot and a little bit under a little bit of a cover of snow, your foot catches on a little fold of fabric.
I'll lean down and pull at it.
Yeah. And as you slowly begin to pull this, it kind of extends, and you can you realize it's something longer, and are slowly pulling this colored fabric up from the ground, covered in mud and water at this point. Azimuth, you've standing on the threshold of the cabin. What are you doing?
Um, yeah, just trying to see if I can see anything that's in there, if I can see what's making that sound. Um,
Yeah. Are you going in?
um, from here, can I see any other like doors on the other side of the building or anything like that?
It appears that
Oh,
this is the only entrance
okay.
to it. And as you're looking around, you hear the sounds again, and you're fairly
Okay.
sure that it's coming from the very back right corner.
Gotcha. Is there anything near the door, like a stool or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's fair that there's a few
Okay.
wooden stools inside.
Yeah, I just want to grab something and prop the door open, and then I'm gonna make my way in.
Yeah, sounds good. Are you drawing a weapon?
Yeah, yeah, axe at the ready.
Yeah.
If I see her hesitate at all,
Yeah.
then I will also just immediately march over to where she is and
Okay.
draw my knife.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that that Azimuth seems confident, and you see her kind of move with the careful precision of somebody who knows her way around a fight. But yeah, maybe you edge forward to offer some backup. Azimuth, as you step deeper into the room, you hear the kind of growling coming and are able to get kind of low enough to start seeing under the side of it. Based on that natural world, I think you're beginning to suspect that this might not be as big as a wolf necessarily, um, but you're getting the sense maybe that's something like along the lines of a wild badger.
Okay, okay. Well, Medford, don't block the door. It, whatever it is, it's angry, and we'll see if we can scare it out. And I'm gonna try to, yeah, slowly kind of make my way in that direction.
Yeah.
Kind of holding kind of the haft of the axe out and down towards the ground, just kind of like defensively in case anything tries to rush it, in case it tries to like rush at me or anything like that to try
Be
to
careful if
bat it
it's a
away.
badger. Badgers are dangerous.
Nice. What's Bert doing? Bert was hanging pretty close to Medford.
Okay.
Now Medford's moved in.
Bert is following behind. He's moving forward, but he's following behind Medforth. He takes his sling out. He reaches into his pocket and he takes a stone. And he is skilled with the sling and stone, and he's just watching to see if he has a target to go at. But he's not, he's positioning his body behind Medforth.
Nice. Yeah. Probably a little bit curious to see if this is the start of a grand epic, perhaps.
Yes.
Leober, you've finished pulling, and you can see that you've pulled a fine scarf off the ground. It looks as though that it was a little bit frozen underneath a layer of recently fallen snow. But you're not sure offhand, but you're almost sure that, yeah, maybe it could have belonged to Stania, the other merchant, the one who's missing.
Um, I will look to Bert and raise up the cloth.
Bert has his back to you. You can see that Bert and Medforth have moved up there close. You're kind of still back at the barn and turned to see everybody else has kind of converged on that. Elowen, you were getting pretty close as well.
I'm going to drop the wood and the hatchet, and I'm going to take my cloak, it's probably a bit wet, and I'm going to hold it in my hands in front of me, kind of defensively.
Nice.
So if it's an animal, then I'll be able to scare it off or whatever.
Yeah.
With it.
And we'll circle back to Azimuth. You've closed in on it. You're almost directly across from the bed that you think the badger is hiding under.
Okay. So yeah, as I close in on it, I'm gonna try to knock my the haft of my axe against the kind of backside of the bed, and see if I can drive it out.
Wonderful. Yeah. And there's no roll for that. You're able to do it, and it clangs. And you know what? Maybe for fun, I will give you a roll. Actually, give me an intimidation roll, maybe.
Sure enough. Okay, let's see here. And that is 73 out of 55. Not quite.
Okay, so I think in this case, it darts out and it does almost go directly at you. And this thing maybe feels a little bit more cut off and thinks it's got to at least put up some kind of fight in order to get past you. And it swings it goes to try to take a bite of you. Are you gonna dodge or fight back?
I'm gonna try to parry with my axe.
Okay.
Can we see what it is yet?
You can see it does appear to be a badger. It comes out all teeth and claws and jumps directly at Azimuth.
Ought to critical success.
Okay, and it failed its roll. So not only do you beat, so yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That is, let's see. Hang on, what's my damage bonus? Oh. 8 damage.
Yeah. You are able to split the thing in half, and everyone kind of jumps as it happens. But this animal's darted out, and the rest of you watch as Azimuth neatly bisects it.
Well, at least tonight we eat.
Indeed.
I found something outside in the snow.
What the
Oh,
hell is that?
I think it might be a scarf.
Does it look familiar at all to us?
Yeah, Mitfirth, you have probably seen Tuomas and Stania come in and leave the village on multiple times, and you seeing it, you're quite positive that it is something that Stania wore.
That belongs to Stania. You found it in the barn?
Outside, underneath one of the layers of snow and frost.
I wonder if she lost it. Oh, she could be out there frozen under the snow.
I'll show the hatchet that I found and point out that there's possibly some blood on it. I said it was stuck into one of the logs in the wood.
Well, before we start searching around, we need to settle ourselves and get a fire going, get some food cooking. Bert, I assume you know how to cook. Just what are you good for other than singing songs?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah.
I have
For
a
once,
feeling it was
he's muted.
awesome.
He's not even good at singing songs.
You're
Still muted.
Still
That's what happened to
muted.
me before.
Yeah, he's
Yep,
taken a
can't
vow of
understand a word of
silence.
what he's saying. He's just talking into the air.
Sorry about that. Yes, I can write songs. I'm writing a song right now about the heroism of Asmoth and the way she slew that the badger. And I know many lullabies, so everybody will find it very easily to fall asleep tonight.
Do you know any recipes for badger?
No.
Jesus Christ. I probably don't I don't curse Jesus' name.
I can do a cartwheel. Would you like to see some acrobatics? And I do a cartwheel.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Give me a dex roll just to see how you land it.
That's a 25, so that is a hard success.
You have to give the guy credit. It's a fairly deft maneuver that he executes before you and does a spin.
You do that
gonna
And I do a
Chris,
bow. I do
everyone.
a bow when I finish it as well. A deep bow.
Gentlemen, ladies, let's get inside.
Let's get the fire started.
I'll
But
start
Element,
cleaning
do you know
the
how to-
animal.
Do you know how to cook?
Yeah, cook.
Do You probably have a lot of recipes.
Yeah, I've been.
The Thane's servants cook my meals for me. The Thane's cooks for me.
Leober, you were saying something. What was Leober doing?
While everybody's talking, I'm just gonna start cleaning the animal up and prepping
Okay.
it for roasting.
Yeah, as you go about that, you see that Asmus swing killed it pretty much instantly, and you kind of start figuring out, okay, yeah, this is edible, and maybe you know the how to prepare it and start. And as you're kind of on your knees, like doing this, you look over and you can see there is still a little bit of the matter, that there is a full bramble of twigs and pieces of wood underneath the cot that it was hiding under. It looks as though it has a bit of a nest, and now that you've been in here a little bit, you smell a little bit of the evidence of its occupation as well.
Is it like a straw cot? What kind of is it on any structure?
Yeah, it appears to be just wooden set up in the corner. Is yeah, a little bit of a layer of straw on it. Some of that has been ravaged and ripped apart and likely pulled underneath of it.
Is it female? Was it making a nest?
From what you can tell, yeah, it looks like it was, at least for whatever reason, the door had been left open in here and it got in and was likely trying to turn it into its new home.
Well, let's get set up. I'll help with the fire, get it going.
Yeah.
Bert will help with nothing, but he will sit down and he will take out his lyre and he will start strumming it, and he'll start playing music for the group.
Wonderful.
And then I will light my pipe and smoke it.
Nice. Leober, you notice the axe that Eloin has shown off, and you're fairly confident that that's one of your creations as well. Looking at it, you seem to remember making a set of these hatchets a few years ago. Then, if you remember correctly, Tuomas, the merchant, was one of the people who purchased one.
Well, this doesn't bode well. Well, this belonged to Thomas as well.
He wouldn't leave it here.
No. I'll set to start cleaning it up.
Yeah, sounds good. You go about preparing the meal. What's Asmith up to?
Well, if that's yeah, I'll leave the carcass to him, or to them, and I guess I'm gonna go outside. Is there the top of this building, how tall is it roughly?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's probably about 9 or 10 feet tall, and it is arched on top. It's not as much as a 45-degree angle or anything, but it's enough that snow would have some reason to fall off of it.
Gotcha. The thatch?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be thatch probably.
Okay. The area towards that we're going to be heading in the next day.
Yeah.
Is that area relatively forested? Are there are there farmsteads out that way? What's the terrain like out in that direction?
It's pretty much forested for the most part, but like I said before, it does kind of start gaining elevation a little bit. As is some point, from what you've been told by the others, Leober, of course, has spent some time there in the past, and others in the village have said that at some point the forest during tomorrow's journey will thin out quite a bit, and eventually you'll be in a small set of kind of rolling hills before reaching the site of the monastery.
Gotcha. Okay.
You are standing outside alone right now, Asmuth?
Okay. Well, I guess before it gets dark, I'm gonna try to look around, and I mean, with the somebody having found a scarf that may have belonged to one of the travelers, and possible blood on an axe. I've got some tracking skill. I'm going to try to look around, see if I can find, signs of a struggle or anything like that, anything out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
indications that like a large number of people went through this area recently, like,
Yeah. Okay.
or it's
Awesome.
bandits
Yeah.
or
Sounds
whatever.
good. It's yeah. You're fighting against time because you can see it's rapidly getting darker. And the inside you
Yeah.
see the occasional glow from Medfirth's pipe. But yeah, you start heading out, and I'm going to come back to you in a second for a tracking roll.
Okay.
Inside, Elwyn and Leober are mainly taking care of the cooking duties by the sounds of it. Elwyn's maybe brought in some wood that she was looking at kindling.
Yeah, so we want to spit roast this animal. I haven't spit roast a bisected animal before, so but presumably that's still feasible. It will be important to gut it before putting it on there, which I will do, and then and to take the hide off, and then we'll have it on the on a branch, and hopefully we can turn it over time. It's important to get it cooked properly, something like this, and the grease will then sort of come down from it. We want to make it's good to spit something like this, otherwise it'll be too greasy. Anyway, these are technical details that you would about badger cooking that you would want to know about, maybe. But I'll be doing that.
Is there a moment as you're saying this where you get a bit of deja vu and remember another time of doing some cooking or instructing someone else to do cooking?
Well, yes. I mean, it reminds me of the many kitchen wars I had with my daughter-in-law. We would never agreeing how we should do the cooking and what we should be, the use of herbs and things, how much time that everything took. And I miss my son and I miss my grandson, but I do not miss my daughter-in-law. I wish her well.
Oh, very good. Okay. And we'll go from there over to Bert as you finish a song. Maybe you're about to start the next song. Is there a particular song that you think for a second of playing and then decide not to play, or something that either particularly challenges you or scares you away
Well,
from?
he was thinking of writing a song for Asmith and the way that she slew the badger, but then he thought that that's not really a very good song. So, as he often does, he exaggerates. So he instead of a badger, it's actually a wolf. And instead of a regular sized wolf, it's the biggest wolf you've ever seen. And he's writing about the heroism, and he's about to sing it, but then he realizes that Asmuth isn't here. Asmuth is outside, so he's going to wait till she comes back, and then he's going to sing his new song about the heroism of Asmuth.
And Medford, what do you hear as Bert carefully picks some melodies and tries to? You can tell he's trying to put something together.
Yes, I hear him blathering on, making strange attempts at rhyming, and it irritates me, but I don't really show any irritation. Instead, I clean my pipe and I stand up and I excuse myself to go out back behind the cabin to relieve myself.
Okay, sounds
Since
good.
I haven't done that since we arrived, and I've been on that cart all day.
Well, people are
And
not.
as soon as Medforth leaves, Bert says, Medforth went to the wolf like no other, but when the wolf bared his fangs, he did cry for his mother. And he makes sure that Medforth is out of earshot when he sings that. And he's trying to get a laugh out of the other people in the
Wonderful.
wow.
Okay. And we'll quickly check in on Leober as the door closes behind Medforth, and you're hearing Bert's song. And is there what type of music do you remember from the monastery growing up? It's probably a bit different in style than Bertrand's music.
Very different. It it used a lot of the acoustics of the monastery to bounce the sound and the voices off the wall, and a lot of it felt a lot deeper when they were speaking or singing. You felt it in the core of you.
Yeah. And with that, let's drop outside and check in on Azimuth. Azimuth, why don't you give me a tracking roll?
There we go. I had a dead on 60 out of 60.
Nice. Okay. And yeah, you start spinning and yeah, see, the light is fading. It's getting harder and harder to make anything out, but you are becoming sure that at some point the cabin was approached from the direction of the monastery by at least several different people, possibly at different times. Tracks seem to indicate some actual foot traffic rather than horse or cart coming from that direction. You also see some older signs and stuff in the snow. It's very hard to tell at this point based on the amount of melting, but I think with a successful check, you and the things you found so far, that you are increasingly feeling confident that Stenia and Tuomis made it this far. Whether the things you're finding are from their first journey on the way to the monastery or from their journey back from the monastery, that part you're still a bit unsure about. But as you begin to track some of these other footprints and things around, you find a lot of them start going back around behind the bothy and start ending directly around the area where Elowin was earlier, where she found the hatchet.
I guess then I'll head back inside.
Yeah.
Well, everyone definitely sounds the signs the merchants were around, but
Now give me a spot
can...
hidden, in fact, before you go back.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That is another 60, but my spot hidden is only 55. So
yeah, it might just be a little bit too dark at this point. You hear, you begin to smell something nice coming from inside, and you're just headed back to the door when you hear the door of the thing opened, and Medforth steps out and passes you.
They're cooking.
That's good news. I haven't found anything really conclusive out here. It looks like the merchants. I mean, there's definitely signs that they made it through, but I can't tell if it was coming or going or what their business was, unfortunately.
We'll have to have a better look in the morning when there's light.
Indeed. Well, that's a trouble for tomorrow, I suppose.
Excuse me, I really have to go.
Characters in TTRPGs probably don't really spend enough time using the washroom when you think about it. So, as
nature is our washroom.
Yes, in these dark ages, you could go anywhere.
Very few dungeons have washrooms either.
Yeah, right.
They're not.
If they don't have a senshi, latrines. Medforth, standing behind the place, it's now it has that early kind of darkness of early evening when there's still just enough light to see the silhouettes of the buildings, and then you're no danger of being in total darkness. You can see the moon's beginning to rise. What are you thinking about as you relieve yourself?
Well, I'm paying close attention to the sounds around me. I'm I was gonna say I'm learning how to spell my name.
A little bit of early literacy work, yes.
No, I like the woods, but I know they can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of always scanning. So I'm scanning around and see if I see anything unusual, which could be just a spark of light. If there's somebody hiding out in the woods that lights up a pipe or something.
Yeah.
Anything that might indicate. Also, the actions of, I suppose it's winter. There probably aren't a lot of birds, but there's still winter birds.
Yeah, there are for sure.
Anything that might indicate that something is moving out there.
Yeah. Give me a spot hidden. Yeah.
75. I don't see anything.
Yeah. You're all too, again, you have that feeling as it becomes dark that it's all too possible that like it'd be so easy from in all the surrounded by these trees and that you feel quite exposed for a moment.
But that's our life. That's what the world we live in. So
Yeah.
I imagine we feel like that a lot all the time.
more often than not.
So I watched the steam rise up out of where I've urinated, and then I turn
Back
around
in.
and go back inside.
Yeah. Sounds good. And you step back in. Inside the cabin, has anyone done anything about the nest yet?
I don't suppose, Bert, you know how to sweep a floor, do you?
Uh,
Oh, why did I even ask? I'll grab the I hope maybe there's a broom or something in here. There's usually one near a fireplace. And I'll start clearing the floor out
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah. You're
knocking the dust off
There's
the
dry
beds.
kindling. I can use it. I want to boil some
Oh,
water up
well.
to cook some leeks and have some herbs in there.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll come help with the cleanup. Like, just hook my axe under the bed and just get everything out of
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There you go,
Scoop it out,
Medford.
yeah. Yeah, and as you do that, you see that bramble of sticks and twigs and stuff that it's dragged in here. You see and maybe frown for a second, seeing some scraps of cloth and other things kind of pull out from it. Various kind of textile things on it, and are quite sure that it's from tatters of clothing, essentially. But possibly the most damning is the small piece of meat wedged in the back of the kind of nest as you kind of pull it forward. And with Asmuth's axe sweeping it out, you see this little piece of meat kind of roll and bump under. And the two of you both stop to look down at it. It bears the marking of the badger's teeth in several places at it, but as you look closer at it, you're convinced that it's a human tongue.
Dear God. Do you suppose their bodies might be around here somewhere? The badger was scavenging. Let's clean that out. Are the cots movable? They're just cots,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll move that out of the way.
Yeah, Asmus just gonna reach down and snatch the tongue up and kind of like look it over, kind of like, oh yeah, that's definitely a tongue.
Yeah,
Show it to Medfirth, and then it's gonna go like
Indeed.
to the door and just
Yeah.
hurl it off into the trees.
We're not
Yeah.
adding it to the soup.
Not how to get to the meal. Well, before you do that, you know what?
Oh.
Both of you are the two warriors of the group, but I'm going to have you still roll a sanity check on that, and I'll give you a bonus dice for it, just because you two are probably at least a little bit more hardened towards it.
I'm fine. I got a 29 out of 65. I've seen things.
Oh, bonus die. Okay, bonus die, 25 out of 60.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't bother you too much more so than just the strangeness of it and the uncomfortability of seeing such thing and what it might imply towards the merchants. Asmuth, as you look it over, you can see a few nibbles on it. I would give you a medicine or possibly natural world to take one more thing away from it before you toss it out the door.
The tongue probably came from an annoying minstrel.
95, 95, but I've only got a 40 natural world, so I definitely fail the hell out of that. And yeah. And
I could try too, can't I?
Oh,
yeah, you can
if
try
you want to go to look.
Oh, I got 27 out of 21. I can spend 6
You can spend
points.
Yeah.
I'll spend 6 points of luck.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have luck yet.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
luck.
guessing no one does. 3d6 times
Lucky.
5. Yep. Everyone give yourself some luck. Sorry, wish.
While people are giving themselves luck, can I remember I did gut this badger? Were there
Yeah.
any sort of objects that were suspicious inside the gut
Yeah,
when
you
I
know what?
emptied it?
As you pulled it out, yeah, you do see little pieces, and maybe as you start to hear the two warriors kind of speaking about this, you might be able to put together just tiny little morsels of what it's been eating, along with grass or smaller mammals, like might be part of a mouse or something within it as well. But yeah, you don't see any sign of any further remains. So there's nothing. Yeah.
So it's just chewing at it or something rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's fine. Yeah.
it's devoured a few pieces of maybe the tip of it, and then a little bit of the meat's been taken off.
It's
Yes,
extremely
3d6 times
unlikely.
5.
Extremely unlikely that the badger actually killed either one of them. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
probably just taken advantage of. Um,
Bert, were you with the Thane when the merchant was recovered and brought before him?
Oh yeah, um yes, I was with the Thane. I was entertaining at the time.
The merchant, when he arrived, did he say anything about his companion?
Bertrand, you remember
No.
back. Yeah, you remember
Okay.
the healer coming in, and he's the one who informed you, interrupting your song, one of your best performances probably of the song to date. And you remember the healer stating that the man had spoken incoherently, babbled for a few minutes before falling unconscious and had not been roused by the time you left.
Yes, the man was badly wounded. He was not able to say anything coherent before he passed out.
you know, the truly odd thing here is that the axe was buried so deeply in that piece of wood. I mean, if you were attacked by a badger, you would grab the axe and attack it with it or something, you know. No, I think the badger probably got a hold of the body. The body's probably outside somewhere. We just haven't found it. Stannis.
What kind of wounds?
Yeah,
I,
stand,
I suggest we search for it in the morning when there's daylight.
yeah.
Agreed.
Medforth, after you rolled your luck, were you going to spend some on that medicine roll?
Yes. I spent 6 points to get the medicine.
Yeah, the funny thing is when you look at it a little bit closer, you can see the nibbles of the badger, but the place where the tongue along its base was actually severed is a much cleaner cut.
This tongue was cut. Someone cut this tongue out. See here how smooth this cut line is. Perhaps that indicates there were bandits or something.
They could have been gambling or something, and somebody was cheating at cards, and
But it happened
who
here.
knows?
Yeah. What kind of injuries did Tumnus have? Was it weapons or animal bites?
Yeah, you know, they had seemed to think it was weapons that had been the story that passed around. There were no signs of arrows sticking out of him or anything like that, but it appeared it could have been knives or God forbid swords or something heavier like that. But
Perhaps
yeah,
they tortured his wife. But why? To get information? Well, perhaps just for their amusement. Gruesome. Gruesome indeed. When's dinner ready?
oh, by the smell of it, it's pretty close.
Just a few minutes. I'm gonna also when all the stuff is cooking. I mean, I'll be turning the spit periodically. I'll be saying, okay, if you want to hang up your wet clothes from the rain, of your capes and so on, I've arranged something here. Presumably, it's something which is common practice to be able to
dry them out.
Hang up clothes to dry them out.
What will
Probably.
we do?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, what will we do if we do come across these bandits? Are we under orders to bring them back alive, or?
Our orders are to go to the monastery.
Oh,
We kill them if we're attacked.
if it's just a few bandits and they run away, well, that's good. If they come at us, we fight them. If it's a lot of bandits, if they run away, even better. If they come at us, we run.
And we're not prepared to take prisoners, so and heads weigh a lot less than bodies, so
Or tongues?
Yeah, our mission is not to track down bandits. Our mission is to go to the monastery and to look to see if Stania, the other merchant, is there, or to check on the status of the brothers at the abbey.
well, nobody's going to track them down. We're just talking about if they attack us.
Yes, well, if they attack us, then we will do what we must.
Medforth, do you remember the last time you fought another person, be it someone attacking the village, or even a rowdy drunk in town or something?
No, I was posted on City Watch for a while, and there was a leper who was attempting to get into the city, and I was the one brave enough to go out there with a long lance and push him into the gutter. One doesn't want that sort of thing. They should stay in seclusion. That's one thing, and our town's not very rowdy. There was a robber who attacked a merchant in an attempt to steal something, but we caught him, and he's now currently in chains as a lesson to everyone else. We've put him in the stocks. Yes.
Wonderful.
I am sorry,
It's
you asked
time
the
of
last
year.
time I'd killed someone?
Yeah, if you've killed
Um,
someone, or it might have been the poor leper, or no, I'm just curious. I love your answer.
Well, we went on that march looking for a team of bandits that were out in the woods to the west, and we didn't find all of them, but we did kill a couple of them in the process. We'll keep them away from the town.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from those kind of fights?
Don't ask questions, just kill them quickly and get it over with, and hopefully you don't hit an innocent, but some people don't know which way to run. One can't be blamed for an accident.
I think by this point, you guys have probably brought some trail rations and a few things of your own to help with the meal and to eat alongside it. And the pieces of badger are passed around, and the five of you are likely seated or standing in this small building with your food in front of you.
You used parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme on this, didn't you? It's delicious.
Thank you.
How does it taste?
Have some. It's delicious.
A bit gamey, but it will do, I suppose.
What can you get that's not gamey?
Yes. Well, if you burn it to a crisp. But
I imagine chicken's even gamey in this world.
Yeah. I think badger will be quite greasy and more than gamey because it's very fresh, but it would be potentially greasy. So hopefully as much of that grease as possible is dripped off. And the strategy with the soup is to have something to cut, using the herbs to cut the fat in there to make it easier to make it easier to swallow. and to make sure we have our vegetables. Yeah, this time of year, you're not going to have a big raid a big cattle raid from anywhere coming in. It's not, because it's too early in the year. It's still too cold. People aren't going to be wanting to sleep out from that kind of thing. But some human cut that tongue, and there's still blood on the hatchet, and someone who had wielded that hatchet put it into the wood afterwards. Now, why would they hang around here? I don't know. I don't believe that they would hang around. You wouldn't hang around living near a bothy. You would hang out in the bothy because it's too cold to be living outside.
That's
so
true.
It's the forest is a bit scary, but I don't know if there's immediate danger around. I don't know if we want to have a watch tonight. Take it in turns to have someone stay awake.
I suppose that's wise, but Asmoth and I have been, working all day on horseback or driving the cart. You guys have all been sitting in the back resting.
It's no easy
Sure.
deal to sit in the back of a wagon all day.
Well, you can walk along. Besides, how would you like that from now on?
Well, I mean, it's I'm sore from sitting on the back of that wagon all day.
Yeah, I don't trust our minstrel not to just fall asleep immediately.
I can take first watch. I'm going to clean this axe up. That'll keep me wide awake.
I'll
rise
take first
early in the
watch
morning
and I'll play a
anyway.
lullaby, and all of you will fall asleep, and then I'll wake up. I can wake up you next,
Actually,
Leober.
Actually, it makes sense because you guys are going to be in the back of the cart again tomorrow. So,
Indeed.
I have the best lullabies. You will see. You will see how skilled I am with my lyre.
I'm happy to take some time and watch. I'm used to having somewhat disrupted sleep, and I had a nap in the in the cart anyway, so happy to do that. And I'll have I can pray, so I'm happy to do that.
Well, it sounded
it's an-
go ahead.
well, it's an interesting idea, but I wonder how likely it would be for bandits at that time to attack at night. They might sneak up and try to steal our horses and cart,
That's
but
the biggest
fighting
threat.
at night is just as difficult for them as it would be for us. You don't have anything to see, we don't have lights or
Worse if they're trying to make their way inside.
Yeah.
Sleep with your weapons close within arm's
Yeah.
reach.
Listen close for the sounds of the horses.
Is there any other light in the bothy besides what's coming from the hearth? Have you candles or torches or anything like that lit?
Possibly a candle. I don't know.
we'd have tallow candles, but they're probably valuable because
Honestly, a scholar would probably have like a candle that she carried with her, I would guess. Right?
What is
if she's
wanted-
working.
Oh, sorry, Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we have a nice blaze at the moment, so
Yeah,
there's plenty
yeah.
of light coming off from that.
From the hearth.
Is it a clear night? What's the moon doing?
Yeah, having a peek out, it is rather clear. You can see the moon is getting higher and higher in the sky, and you can see it glints off the kind of icy, kind of melted remnants. You can see patches near the bothy itself where your footprints of where you've stepped is now kind of enlarged a little bit, but the air outside's also getting cooler now, so it's likely probably starting to refreeze at this point too.
Yeah. I mean, with no cloud cover, it's probably really getting. It's quite a cold night. I don't know. I mean, I'm normally I sleep in a couple of stages anyway, because often that's what happens in the monasteries. They will wake up in the middle of the night in order to have a service, and I've kind of got used to that sort of scholarly system. So I'm happy to have to take a watch in the middle of the night if someone would like to wake me up. We haven't got any bells.
Well, why don't I go
to wake us up.
first, and then I'll wake up Leober, and then Leober will wake up Elowin.
Yeah.
And if Asmoth and Medforth wish to take a shift, then they may, and if not, that's fine.
I naturally
Do you
wake up
think-
at dawn anyway, so
Yeah. If I can have the middle shift, because that's the one that I'm used to from the scholastic thing, and that
Yeah.
will allow
Yes.
Leober to have solid sleep.
And it is early spring, so we're probably just a little bit past the spring solstice, so it's kind of like average day length, and for this time, for the time of year that we're in.
So, another question. The structure that we're in, is it stone or is it wattle and daub or
The walls are stone, and there's some places where in the framework there's some wood built into it that the stone's been built into kind of the frame of it. But
are there any window? Well, there wouldn't be glass windows,
no,
but are there flap windows?
There's one
or-
flap window in the front near the front door.
Well, as long as we secure the front door and the flap window, then even if bandits come, they can't get in. I want to make sure though that the barn is secure as well.
Yeah.
So they
You
can't
don't
get
have
to
an
our
easy line of
horses.
sight. It's pretty much parallel to the building
Right.
you're in.
So I'll go out there and take any measures that are necessary. I don't know if we have a chain and a lock or something like that, but
Yeah, fair enough. Or even just something to put over top of it. And
the horses will make noise anyway if they get disturbed in the middle of the
yeah,
night.
absolutely.
We're fairly secure.
So 4 of you are essentially hitting the sack. Medforth, while you're out looking at the horses, actually, I should ask quickly. First, is there anything that you wanted to grab from the cart that you brought from town with you that
Well, let's see. What do we have from town? Oh, maybe there's a skin of wine
Yeah, nice. I like that.
that helps you to go to sleep anyway.
Yeah.
I'll bring in a skin of wine and share it with everybody.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh,
Give me a power check as you head back in.
let's see. I got a 16. I wonder if that passes. Where's my pal?
Better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
Yeah, you're starting sanity. It's
Yeah.
gonna last long on this one.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
I got
trouble. Yeah.
I got a 16 out
Yeah.
of 65, so that's a hard.
Yeah. You have that feeling just for a second that someone is watching you out in the darkness, or that you feel eyes on you, and then it kind of passes.
I'll go back inside, and I'm going to curl up, or whatever we do.
Yeah, whatever you do at that time. How do you sleep in the Middle Ages, in the Dark Ages? Yeah. You crawl and you see most of the others have taken to their cots. Perhaps you hear a few light tones being plucked by minstrel.
Rockabye baby in the treetop.
I expect him to snuggle in behind me at some point because
Yeah.
that's where he spent all day, is right behind me, hiding.
Hiding. Yes. And you have a sip of the wine, and As you swallow it, you kind of replay the day in your head and think back to it and start trying to put some of these pieces together. And you have memories as a child of these forests, Medfirth. Do you remember spending time in the forest as a child?
Oh, yes. Mostly when I was young enough to play, I usually played with fake wooden sword. Uh, and I would practice. I would fight the other trees with, as if they were people. There wasn't much playing back then, so there was a lot of hard work and labor.
Did you ever see things on your own that others didn't believe you about later?
Well, I do recall my mother telling me that I had such an imagination, um, because I used to talk a lot to I am sure at this point they were imaginary
Yeah.
friends, but children are very vivid. I had very vivid imaginations of people in the forest. Um, I'm sure they weren't real, but
Yeah.
they seemed real at the time.
Do you remember feeling sometimes like maybe you almost looked more like them than the other people around you in the village?
Well, everybody has commented on the fact that I'm extremely good looking. Um, and I did put on muscle really quickly as a teen. Um, yeah, I've been teased. People said that I might be half Fey, mostly because my father was never present. Uh, he disappeared early on. Even myself, don't have any idea who he actually was. But
So, how do these memories and your experiences today manifest into dreams as you finally slip into sleep?
I probably think about walking around in the woods. If there was something out here that caught my eye, and all it had to be was a tree with just lovely snow on its branches, and it sort of, looked like some sort of dancing girl that people are afraid of the woods, but I find them lovely, even in the winter when it's cold. Uh, so I probably find myself in dreams wandering through the snow.
Yeah. And what darker cast do they take as the events of the day start to slowly filter into the more idyllic ramblings of your mind?
I think there are probably bandits in my mind that are hiding behind the trees watching us.
Mm.
I can see the cabin from the woods. Uh, and as I look over, I notice there are dark figures hiding behind the trees. Um, it doesn't scare me as much as it gives me an adrenaline rush. There's going to be an adventure.
Mm. Interesting. Okay, we'll
Um,
switch over. We'll switch over to Elwyn if that's okay. And Elwyn, you too find yourself lost in dreams, perhaps of the past, perhaps of things that haven't been, but you feel a certain danger in these dreams. Can you elaborate or describe them at all to me?
Um, I'm reminded of something that I've read about and maybe heard about from some of the bards. And that's an old story from the Roman times when there was a legion of 5,000 soldiers and they marched north from York one fine day and into the forest, and they were all swallowed up and they were never seen again. And something about the sort of the unsettling of being in this forest and the danger that sort of brings that back to me. And I find myself wandering around in the forest in a dream and um, being lost, um,
And
being disconnected from, from people.
and how
That's
does
quite
that
scary.
how does that crescendo right as at the appointed time Bert gently awakens you? You snap out of it perhaps just as the dream reaches a pitch.
Yeah, perhaps I find I'm having got lost in the forest. I wander and I find myself in a black, empty space. It's not so much of a clearing, it's just a sort of a black void that I'm in, and it's really quite awful. And I don't know what to do. And then at that moment, I'm woken up.
You're jerked away, and Bertrand leans over you. Go ahead, Bertrand. You are awakened, just awakening Elowen up.
It's your turn, Elowen.
Oh, oh, thank you, Bert. Thank you. A terrible dream. And
Oh,
is it all quiet? Is it all quiet out
as
there?
far as I know, I was just playing my lyre. It's
Okay.
supposed to give everybody nice dreams,
It's plus
not
plus
nightmares.
D6 on your short rest rolls or your long rest rolls, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. When's the last time you actually did look outside, Bert? Or you haven't,
Um,
maybe?
no, Bert didn't look outside. He played his lyre. He was writing some music. He figures as long as he doesn't hear anything, he doesn't need to take a look outside or anything. Bert doesn't like the forest. He doesn't like the wilderness. He spends most of his time at the Thane's Lodge. And he's even though it's a he spends time in the town in Laurenburg. He really hasn't been out in the wilderness much, maybe since he was a boy.
So,
I'm
Elowen,
going to
yeah,
while Bert is still awake. I'm going to look outside just to check that everything is okay
uh,
and that the horses are okay and
you
so on.
see everything looks fine. You see the moon is much higher in the sky now. It's deep in the night. You hear the snores from other cots nearby. Every so often, maybe someone shifting or moving. If you had to guess, you'd guess the others are a little bit uncomfortable, maybe having a restless night as well as you.
Yeah. Well, I'll give thanks to God um, for delivering me from that nightmare, and I will allow my thoughts to rest on Jesus and on the salvation that we will all enjoy one day beyond um, this mortal world. And I'll head back into the warmth. I'll keep an eye on the outside all the time, but trying to stay in the warmth caught behind the door. And I'll have
Yeah,
my blanket around me, or
wonderful. Yeah, that's perfect. And yeah, then Bertrand, you
Yes.
were describing your what can you describe maybe as you're falling asleep what it is that you feared about the forest?
Well, first of all, I'm used to sleeping in a bed, so I don't know how easily I'm going to fall asleep on the floor. But yes, I just don't like the. I'm a town boy. I'm not a country boy. I don't like. I like to stay indoors as much as I can. I don't like to get wet. I don't really like the rain. I don't like the elements. I don't like to be in the forest. I don't like wild animals, or any of that.
Or severed tongues for that matter.
Well, I made sure not to look at that even when they were
Yeah.
talking about it. I'm squeamish.
And as you kind of start to drift off into sleep, how does all that kind of conjure something in your mind that creates a dream that maybe spirals into nightmare?
So a dream that spirals into the nightmare um, may have to do with wild animals. Um, he saw a badger, but then he wrote a song about a wolf to try to exaggerate and make his song
Yeah.
more dramatic.
That
But
imagination is maybe turning on you
and
now.
that imagination turns on him because he has a nightmare about being attacked by a wolf, by a big wolf. Maybe and he's one of those dreams where you're running. You're just fleeing, you're just trying to get away, and he hears the snarling and the barking and everything behind him, and his friends aren't there to protect him, and he's running through the woods.
Wow. Okay, let's shift over to Azimuth perhaps next. Azimuth, have you been sleeping this whole time?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you conked out pretty quick. And now that you're in that deepest part of the sleep, perhaps you find yourself suddenly in the forest. And tell me a little bit about what you dream in and what memories come back to you as you move about in this space.
Oh, well, Azimuth is uh, spent a lot of her life, all the way back to childhood, traveling, whether it was um, uh, uh, across the northern parts of Britain, or more recently, uh, 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 further south. Um, she's kind of settled into an understanding with the wilds of the island. With it,
Mhm.
it's a lot of routine and hardship, punctuated by brief moments of terror and chaos every so often. Less so now than in
Yeah.
in the decades of her youth, though. Uh, and so with although with this sort of thing, finding a severed tongue, missing merchants, a raided monastery. This is just bringing back lots of bad childhood memories from
Yeah.
the wars of the past that she was uh, first a firsthand uh, recipient of. Eventually, that's where her parents were killed, and so right now it's a lot of bad, very personal dreams.
Yikes. Oh my gosh. Sounds good. And let's move over to Leober as you slowly trek through the dreams that inhabit your head. What does Leober see?
Um, he's out on a hunt. Um, it's a little unclear whether he's out hunting rabbit or deer. Um, but it's that same eeriness that he feels after taking that shot and the animal goes down. The rest of the forest is suddenly completely still. There's no sound, but there's just this feeling over my shoulder, almost a weight on my shoulders, like something watching.
Does that silence remind you of anything back when you were a youth at the monastery?
It was very rare to hear silence in the monastery unless it was deep, deep at night. And I remember that there were definitely times where I would just force myself to stay awake just so that I can feel that silence and not hear the ringing of the brothers' voices.
Mm. And what happens as you're finally awakened for your shift of watch?
I think I'm walking through the forest and I feel the ice crunch beneath my feet, and I suddenly get the feeling like I'm the one being tracked, like something is coming for me.
Mm. And yeah, maybe just as it closes in, you feel a hand on your shoulder or something like that, and realize that the scholar Elowin is leaning over you.
Something wrong.
No, all good. Your turn.
Very well.
All quiet so far.
Elowin, you find your way back into dreams, are somewhat still disturbed and haunted, but you are nonetheless at least resting and getting some sleep from it. Leober, you sit and within probably within an hour or so, you see just the faint bit of light starting to come over the horizon, and slowly the night ends, and you can see the sun rising, and light begins to come in through the slots of the window, and it appears you guys have made it to morning.
Just before the sun rises, I probably wake up.
Yeah, maybe wake up just from tradition, having that drilled into you. Yeah, you're a bit uncomfy, you're a bit stiff from and while you got some rest out of it, though, you feel like your mind's been going the whole time.
Indeed. Good morning, Leober.
Good morning, sir.
I would have set the fire. Please let me specify this so that it's kind of banked and there was still hot embers underneath.
Yeah.
So that I can stir that into an active flame in the morning. I can heat some water up and maybe bake some some bread, so we can all have hot bread for the morning.
Wonderful.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go out and get everything ready for our departure.
Yeah, if you're headed to the barn, Bedfirth.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, and as you get to it and open it, you hear one of the horses kind of do a little whinny of greeting as you come in, and yeah, everything seems fine in there. You see your cart all intact, and the horses are fine. Begin tending to them.
Yep. Give them some food.
Yeah, and with that, the rest of you begin to wake up as well and go about your morning prep or anything else you wanted to do before setting out.
Yeah, with the sound of the horses awake with a start. Is everything okay? Are they trying to take the horses?
No, all is well.
No, it's all okay.
Good. All well and good then.
I come back inside. It's like everything is fine outside. Everything is proper. Oh, Elowin, you're making something for breakfast. Good. I'm sure that Bert would like avocado toast or something like that.
Oh, please.
Even though we don't
Avocados.
I think we have some eggs. I'll boil an egg or two.
Like hummingbird's
In the
tongue
water.
and
Well, there is still a little bit of tongue left, probably.
no, we threw that out.
You threw that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was all thrown out. Yeah.
I'm going to
some-
march around outside with a stick, poking around to see if I find any bodies or anything that are.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, give me a spot hidden.
Oh, I'm rolling really well. 16 out of 45. So that's hard.
Okay. On the side of the house, again, as you're walking around, you start to kind of concur with Asmus' findings the night before in the kind of dimmer light. Now in the morning sun, you're relatively sure at least that there was some kind of activity around the fire pit area outside. And as you're looking around, you see the side of the bothy now and notice just a few like kind of nicks or scratches on the wall, and here and there there's a little few more signs of disturbance around the fire that maybe weren't so obvious last night, or around the fire pit, sorry. And as you poke around in the snow, you find right around that log that had the axe buried in it, you find some what looked like cloth bindings.
Like bandages?
More so something that would tie someone up or secure their hands or hold.
Right. I'll pick one of them up so that I can show the others when I go back inside. So I'm sort of I'm at this point I'm kind of imagining that something happened here. Possibly the woman was tied up. Um, it's possible that they mutilated her. Um, that they might have done worse things to her than that. Um, and I just sort of surmise with my imagination, if I was going to murder somebody and throw their body, where would I throw it? I mean, I don't care. So I'm not going to go through the trouble of making it, I'm just going to fling it over there or over there.
Yeah.
So I'll go towards those areas with my stick and try to sort of scrape the snow away and see if I find a body in a ditch or.
The further you walk away from the fire pit area, the more you feel like nobody's been over here. There's no like dips or places in the snow or in the melt where like it's gone over top of old footprints. There is no body here. You're almost convinced, at least, that
did they take the body with them? I'm going to go back to the fire pit then, and I'm going to look in the fire, in the ashes and soot and stuff, and see if there's any bone or anything like that from a meal.
Yeah, and as you sorry, excuse me, as you lean over it and kind of stir around in it a little bit, you do begin to uncover something that looks like bones, and you're somewhat relieved, perhaps, probably, to see that it's not human bones, but it definitely appears to be chicken or some kind of small animal, like a chicken, like a fowl or some kind.
Yeah,
and you'd guess probably a couple days old, probably.
Yeah. I'll probably at that point lose interest and wander back inside and explain to Asmoth what I've seen. Something took place around the fire pit. I don't know if they tied one of them up or maybe tied both of them up. And he escaped and she didn't. I show him the mark, I mean the cloth or whatever was used to tie him up. But I don't find any bodies. I don't see anything. I only find animal bones in the fire pit.
Well,
you can see in the cloth bindings there's a little bit of blood soaked into them, probably, but yeah.
Probably wrists were tied.
Yeah. Definitely some blood on the log itself. Once you sweep away the snow where the axe was buried, you can see that.
Well,
yeah.
I suppose that gives us two situations. One, the traders were traveling, were waylaid and captured here. One of them escaped and made it back to town. The other one was taken off somewhere else, perhaps. Or two,
that's one possibility. Yes, go on.
Whatever happened at the monastery, they perhaps were brought here and then escaped. But
that doesn't make much sense.
There is no sign of their cart or horses that they left in.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and it's also possible that both of them escaped, and he managed to get back to town, and she wandered off into the woods somewhere and died. Could be anywhere, miles away, anywhere.
Without a proper trail to hunt, to track, to follow.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, I think we have to continue.
And as Bert, has pointed out, our job is to get to the monastery. So If we find anything out, we can always come. We're going to come back this way, so it'll take a little more time on the way back. Nothing's going to thaw out in the next couple of days.
May Christ the Redeemer protect us in our journey. Well, I
Perhaps
suppose
she even found her way back to the monastery.
perhaps.
Find out.
Well,
What kind of animals would cut out someone's tongue, though?
Bandits. These are rough people. They're not civilized. They do things to people just for their own amusement. Baser humans. Should all be captured and slaughtered, hung from the highest tree.
war does terrible things to people. Sometimes the people they end up in it too long, and to make themselves comfortable with all of the killing and the suffering and the dying, some it breaks them, some hate it, some make do, and some learn to like it. And that's a scary thing.
Last month, in my opinion, such philosophy should be, Elowen is better thinking about such things than us. I just take care of the problem at hand. And if somebody needs a head chopped off, then I'll do it. Keeping the peace. But I've got everything loaded up and ready whenever you are.
I'm good to go out.
Can we eat that whatever kind of bread you've made on the way, the biscuit bread?
Sure.
I'll grab mine to go, and I'll eat it on the hoof. I'll ride out ahead, see what I can find. If there's any trouble, any inkling of trouble, I'll ride back to you quick as I can.
Excellent.
Yep. I'll take a few minutes to wash up using nice hot water and some lye soap.
Sounds good. You guys hit the road and begin making your way. Azimuth, as you travel and look around, you see no sign of human life. There's one point as you're riding ahead of the others where you think for a second that you might have spotted a deer before it darts into the trees but disappears. You once in a while you come back and check in with the others who kind of make their way just a little bit slower up the trail behind you. How are you all feeling? That's
pretty good.
Ready for what might come.
A little apprehensive.
Yeah.
Can't quite put my tongue on it.
Is there anyone specifically from the monastery that you miss, Leober, or that you are thinking of?
There was one, Christoph. He was the one that taught me how to write, but he also was a bit of an artist, and I don't remember much, but it was nice to, I guess, feel like a kid just for a little bit.
As you talk and travel, the others are able to glean a bit of an idea of your life in it. So I'm going to go ahead and share a handout of roughly the way you're able to explain to them the way the grounds look here. And you guys travel for a better part of the day again before, after you stop for a quick lunch, maybe you start coming out of the forest and into the hills, and slowly the trees kind of narrow and you get past that and up kind of some small hills. The track kind of curls around a few bends, and again, once we're getting to that kind of late afternoon, you see kind of the low walls of the monastery ahead of you. You see the main the priory building kind of looms out ahead of it. From what Leober explains, there is a guest house on the property, as well as a large stable and barn where they would traditionally keep livestock and other animals. And yeah, you can see it just ahead of you in the hills. As you're getting closer, you see no sign of smoke rising from it. It all seems to be quiet, though. Yeah.
Head to the stable and barn.
Is there a
Any
churchyard there? Any graves?
Yeah, if you Leober is able to tell you that at one point behind the main abbey there was a small plot of land where they had dedicated to graves.
It's beyond out back, but
Back, yeah.
it hasn't, at least when I was living here, they had stopped using it and were using something off-site.
You guys are getting much closer to it. For the moment, I'm assuming Asmith is still kind of alongside the others.
well, is it so? No smoke. Um, any sounds, or anything like that?
Give me a listen.
That is a fail.
Well, you don't really pick up anything.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll ride out ahead and see if there's anyone there to greet us or any signs of an ambush, and I'll be back shortly. And I'm gonna ride out towards the abbey. And you said the trees have kind of thinned out here, right?
Yeah,
This
quite
is
a bit.
kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
a
quite
top of-
open. Yeah,
Okay.
you would guess if there was somebody. You haven't spotted anyone, but you would guess if there's somebody standing by the wall or there's main kind of gate going in. You would guess if they were standing there, they probably would have they'd be able to see you guys pretty easily coming up the road.
So would to ask the GM a question.
Yeah.
This is kind of based on the time of day that it is as we're approaching,
Yeah.
but would we find it unusual we hadn't heard bells ringing
Nothing.
at any particular time? Or
Yeah, if you find that
'cause
unusual,
there's
it's definitely
services.
unusual.
Yeah, we're not hearing what we think we should hear from a monastery.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ride up and kind of do a circuit around the
Yeah.
outskirts of it. Look for anything unusual, any
Okay.
signs of parts of the wall knocked down or anything like that.
Yeah, and so I'm going to have you do. I'm going to come back to you in a second. I like
Okay.
that. And as the others, Medfirth, you're just going mainly up to the gate at this point. Yeah.
Gates closed.
Gate is open.
Okay.
And as you near it, you don't see anyone inside.
Nobody comes out to greet us.
Yeah.
That's damn peculiar. There's no gatekeeper or anything like that. Well, I think that there's something bad that's happened here.
Well, let's put our horses in the barn and then we'll have a look around.
Well, let's not do that yet. Let's park our horses because we might need to make a quick retreat. I'll park them out, inside the gate, but just inside the gate, kind of in the
Yeah.
I don't know, there's the courtyard.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Bert, why don't you come up here and hold the reins and keep the horses here, and I'll hop out
Okay.
and with my spear and start looking around.
Asmuth, give me a spot hidden as you're roaming outside. You're kind of doing a circuit around.
Okay. 51 out of 55. So yeah, base success.
Yeah, and you are kind of forging your own path and kind of being a little bit careful with your horse because sometimes still that light covering of snow on the ground can hide holes or stuff like that. So you're going at a even kind of trot around it, and you get back behind it and past the barn and are looking around. You can see there. It looks like occasionally they may bring some of the animals out here the rest of the year, maybe to graze or something like that. But you don't really see any signs of it. It's largely unbroken snow all around as you're traveling around it. You can see there's places where the sun is kind of beamed down and began melting things, but there's no sign of tracks or anything like that. And as you kind of hook back around and start coming around the backside of the main abbey, you kind of are looking around and watching for any signs of things, but making the occasional check back to the monastery itself. And for a brief moment, you see from a window on the second story of the priory within the monastery, you see a woman's face look out at you and then kind of pull back and disappear into the monastery.
Does this monastery have nuns?
From what the others have explained, it's solely men.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, one wouldn't even be allowed inside.
Yeah. We'll flip back as you see that and look at it, but she's disappeared since. You keep doing your circuit and you see the carriage or the cart kind of pulling inside of it. Medforth hopping out, handing the reins to Bertrand. The five of you are in the kind of front open courtyard, and you can see to your left is the main priory. To the right there's a small kind of stone guest house, and ahead of you that barn that leads, or the stables that lead to the larger barn. You can see from where you stand there is a low fence that kind of goes out from there around. You don't see this from here. You can't see any animals, but you can see a bit of a chicken coop at the very far end of it.
Do we hear chickens?
No.
Okay.
As I ride in to kind of catch up with everybody, I hop off the horse, and I'm pretty sure I saw a woman up in the abbey, on the higher floor.
If it's a woman, then the only woman that should be here might be Stania.
That was my thought, but I'm not sure.
But where are the monks? They're not in church this time of day, and they should all be working, cooking, cleaning, working with the animals.
I'm gonna go push open the door into the stable first.
Yeah.
Look for signs of horses, any other animals, anything in here.
You move over ahead to the stables. The cart that you guys have is still kind of right in the center of the courtyard, along with the mount that you're riding, Asmuth. How about the rest of you?
I'm going to call out.
Yeah. What are you yelling?
Holy Fathers, where are you? And I'll walk towards the main abbey.
The only thing you hear is kind of almost a little bit of an echo in your voice off kind of the open surroundings as
I'm intending to go into the abbey through the main door.
Through the main door? Okay.
I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing, but I'm armed and ready with my spear in case the bandits are hiding inside or something.
How Bertrand?
I'm going to follow Medford. Again, not walking side by side, but behind him. And once again, I'm going to take out my sling and I'm going to pull that stone back out of my pocket and be ready for anything.
How about Elowin?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that some of these guys have taken a vow of silence.
It is, yes. There's definitely a group here that have, but still to not.
Maybe the others have taken a vow of not listening. Which is
Wouldn't we know that? This isn't probably our first time being here, right?
Yeah, and that's a little bit up to you how much you know of the lay around. Elowin certainly hasn't been here before. I think Leober is quite familiar. I think it's unlikely that Asmuth has been here before. Medforth, if you think that it's possible you've helped transport anyone here in the past or accompanied any groups, it's possible you might have a little bit idea. Bertrand, I don't think it's likely that you've visited this place before.
No.
Anyway, to answer your question, Keeper, I'm going to be following behind Medforth. I'm not going to be exploring this place by myself.
Okay, yeah. So the two of you, Asmuth has gone over to the stables and opened the door. And where's Leober at?
Libor is going to start making his way towards Azimuth, paying more attention to his feet and just looking if there's been any type of traffic recently than us.
Yeah, how recently is hard to tell, but you do see signs of other footprints in the snow here and there. There has been some movement for here. You come up behind Asmuth as she stands in the doorway looking into the stable, and are able to join her at this point and look past her to see what she's looking at. And that is a cart that looks very much like your cart, that is set up and off to the side inside this stable. And you see lying kind of on the ground of the stable at against the wheels of this cart, you see 2 dead horses. And that's where we'll wrap the session.
Excellent.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, that's great. Our players included Justin Baumgartner, Andrew Buchanan, Josh Ryan, Luke Strom, and myself, with Mike McKinn as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for this show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu Dark Ages role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.